D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? I just finished the penultimate episode of Picard season 3, and you guys, man, was this good. Oh, you guys, I just can't anymore. Man, I really why is it so hard for people like Alex Kurtzman and the Kurtzman Trek people and all those nonsensical people? Why is it so hard for them to write good Star Trek like Terry Matalas has done? I mean, oh my good, you guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Terry Matalas gets it. He gets it. And I've said this before, I hope Alex Kurtzman is like seething that people love Star Trek season Picard and they hate all the other crap that they put out Star Trek wise. I mean, Strange New Worlds is okay, but the rest of it is pure garbage. It's just garbage. Well, not the Lower Decks, that show sucks too, but the other animated one, that one's okay too. It doesn't even matter. Anyways, let's talk about Star Trek Picard. This episode was thrilling. I was engaged. I don't know if you guys, but like, I don't talk to my movies, but I talk to this. Like when some stuff happens, I was like, oh no, you didn't, and stuff. I was like, girl, oh no, he did, and stuff. And I was like, no, don't do it, and everything. So yeah, I can't express how happy I am with the way this season has gone, with the just the overall attitude, the attitude shift of this show. I think that I just don't understand why, and I said it before, I just don't understand how you can't understand how Star Trek can be so good. And even if this wasn't Star Trek, the writing is really good. I mean, and it's mostly just callbacks to Star Trek stuff. But at the same time, I just go, like, Terry Matalas is a fan. Why couldn't you just get fans the whole way around to do these shows? I mean, if they aren't fans of Star Trek, then they don't understand Star Trek. Like, that's what I'm like, it's just so crazy. All right, I'm gonna get into this breakdown because, like, oh gosh, I'm so pumped. I'm pumped. You know what I'm saying? For this episode, I cannot wait until next week. I'm like, I need my another injection of my Star Trek Picard, although last week's the next injection, and then we're gonna have to go cold turkey without Star Trek for a while, or at least good Star Trek. I don't know. There's no way Discovery season 5 is gonna be good. There's no way. Okay. Before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting pushed to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that I got that out of the way, I'm so happy about this episode. Like, this episode was so good, and I'm just like, man, it's okay. All right, let's do this, dude. Let's do it. All right, so it starts off with the red door, because if you remember the red door, if you remember last week, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking. Deanna Troy, her and Jack had gone into his mind, and she was talking about the veins. She's like, what are the veins? What are these red veins? And he's all like, trying to remember, and he's like, I can't remember if he says their roots or whatnot, but he says it later on. But he remembers these blossoms on Primus 4, I think he said. I can't remember. And he's like, my mother used to take me there. And she's like, focus, what are the roots? And he's all like, underneath the ground of Primus 4 with there's a network, a connection and everything. And then she's all like, would you like me to open the door for you? And I'm sorry, I'm not doing her accent very well, but she opens the door and she like freaks. She's like, oh my God. And it ends the connection. It severs the connection. And she's all like, I have to go. And he's like, what did you see? He's like, what did you see? And she's walking back. And now listen. Okay, she's like, what's going on? She's like, we have to get protocol. And she's like, she opened the door, and boom, it's the Borg. It's the Borg. And now listen, I said before that I wouldn't like it if it was the Borg. I lied. It's totally fine that it's the Borg, because I like the Borg as a bad guy. They're a great bad guy. I mean, we all saw it coming, which is fine. I mean, I'm not mad about it. And you want to know why? Because I feel like Terry Matalas wrote such a good build up to it that even though you saw everybody saying, oh, it was Borg because he was the cutest and his son and all that and the transfer and everything, I was like, I get it. We all get it. And we saw it coming, but it was still good to see, it was still surprising. I don't know if you were surprised when you saw it or if you're surprised now, but I just was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, here we go. And that's why I really wish that they had started with this season and they had really just tried to create something so good. And they didn't even, I feel like they didn't even try. They were just like, we're just going to do whatever we want. Like if that first season, when they had the Borg cube cut off from the collective, that was actually a good idea. The thing is, they just executed it poorly because they don't know what they're doing over there. They're just so stupid. Not Terry Matalas. Terry Matalas gets it. This guy gets it. Whatever he's doing now, if he comes back to Star Trek, I will be a happy girl. You know what I'm saying? All right. So she's all like, I sold the Borg or whatever. And so it's called Vox, and we'll talk about that later. So she's all like, it's the Borg, and they're all like, they're talking about the transfer of, because he was the cutest and he probably has the nanites still in him or whatnot. And they want to go to him. And she's like, no, she's like, Deanna is all like, no, there are protocols that we have to follow. And she's all like, we can't let him know. We can't tell him what I saw. We have to quarantine him. So he's freaking out, right? So he comes in and he tells him that it's the Borg kind of thing. And there's something going on, something's wrong with Jack and everything, and he's talking about how this is kind of his fault and stuff. I can't remember exactly what he says. Please don't get mad at me. All right, I didn't write it down because I literally just finished watching it, so I wanted to get on here while it was I was still on a high. And so he's like, he tells him that he needs to go and confront this, and he's like, no, you need to stay. And he tries to leave, and he opens up the door, and it's this guy, and he's like, there are Starfleet protocols set in place. And then he goes, there are Starfleet protocols, but are there protocol or did you ever oh gosh, what did he say? Like there are Starfleet protocols, but aren't there protocols as a father? Or did you never get a chance to do that? Or did you never get a chance to use those? And I was like, no, he didn't, because your mother hid you away from him. He never got the chance to use his father protocols. And I totally understand what's going on here when it comes to Picard, and it's like so good. Oh, it's so good. So Jack then gives into his Borg self, and he goes all red eyes, and he takes over these two dudes right here. And then they point the weapons at Picard. He's like, Jack, don't do this. And he's all like, I have to do this. And he takes those two dudes, and they run away. And she's like, Jack, and he stops his mother. And she's all like, she's like, we can figure this out. And he's like, the whole time I thought it was you inside my head, but it wasn't. It was her. And I was like, oh God. This is getting good. It's getting good, guys. And so, so then he leaves her there, and he gets into a shuttle, and he turns off the little tracking mechanism thing, and he just automatically knows what coordinates. He's like, doot, 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 in the coordinates. And I don't know where I don't know if this is something that we've seen before, this little cloud, this nebula thing that he goes into. So he blasts off, right? And he's gonna go to some kind of like a nebula. It looks kind of like a nebula. I'm not quite sure if it's oh gosh, what's the right word? If it's significant to anything Star Trek. And I apologize if I'm sorry, I don't have the best memory on the planet. I would have to look up stuff to tell you, but I'm not going to. Okay, so then I can't remember what these two talk about, but then Data comes in. He's like, we can't track him. And he's all like, oh God, I can't remember what he says here, but he like puts his hand on his shoulder and oh, I can't remember what he said. It was probably something like, you need a friend. You got a friend in me. So here he goes to this nebula and he finds the Borg cube. Oh, do we see it? Let me see. There it is. He finds the Borg cube. And then it comes to the Titan. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they see that his DNA has been like it's been altered because of the Borg the Borg nanites kind of thing. So he is like it says right here, a transmitter. He like as a transmitter for the Borg. So he is their voice, which you will find out in a little bit, but Vox means voice. So they have figured out, long story short, they have infiltrated, they worked with the Changelings to infiltrate Starfleet, who has collected all their ships for Federation Day, the whole fleet, at Space Dock, and he is going to be transmitting something or whatnot. And so they're like, we need to, so they get Shaw and they're like, hey, we need to go to Space Dock right now. And he's like, you want us, you want us to jump to Space Dock where every single ship in the fleet is there. And our faces are plastered on every wanted poster in the galaxy. And that's where you want us to go, where they're going to be on high alert. And he's like, it's our only choice. And so they go to Space Dock, which Space Dock is beautiful. Look how beautiful Space Dock is. I love Space Dock. So they say something at the end that I'm like, please don't do it. So they've got fireworks going, and I personally don't like fireworks. I don't know how you guys feel about fireworks. I just personally am not a fan, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. I don't need a big light show. That one was kind of cool. That little, hold on, I can't get it back. But anyway, so then this ship comes out. I don't remember the name of it, but it's beautiful. Look how beautiful that ship is. It's beautiful. I've always enjoyed the Star Trek ships, the fleet ships. They're very beautiful. So then we get Admiral Elizabeth Shelby. They brought her back. And she was in Next Generation. Yeah. And so that's just that. I mean, I don't know what else to say about her, except I think she's an admiral now. She looks like an admiral. And she gives this speech about how the first ship that went off into space, which started Starfleet, and it's why we celebrate it on Federation Day. So we go back to the Borg cube, and Jack transports himself on here, and while he's going through here, the Titan sees the transmission, and they are connecting all the ships together, like they're all connected, kind of like the Borg are. So that way they can work as one. They can be, a shield or an attack, a weapon at the same time. They're all connected and working in tandem as one, which is probably always a bad idea, but in this case it is. And so, and he's all like, it looks like a firing squad, which we'll see later on that's exactly what it is for them. And so what they connect, so he then gets to the main, the bridge, if you will. And the Borg queen starts talking. She's like, I've been thinking of a name for you. And she does two other, one of them, I can't remember what she says, but he's like Latin. He's like, I'm neither, your, resurrection or your the child of God or the voice of God. And she's like, no, she's like your father I named Locutus because he was the one that speaks. She's like, but for you I've given you the name Vox because you are our voice. And he's like I believe in mercy, and that is why I'm going to destroy you. And we don't see the queen's face in this episode, which I thought was a bummer. But It sounded like Allison Kriege. I don't know how you say her last name. But she played the Borg Queen in First Contact. And I don't know if she's playing her here. Is she still alive? I don't know if she's still alive. But if she is, then I don't know. She's still alive. Anyways, I don't know if she's playing the Borg Queen, but I hope she is. I hope she is, because that would be fantastic. But anyways, and he's like, I'm going to destroy you. And she's like, if you could kill me, you would have done it already. And he puts down his gun. He's like, because he knows he can't do it, because he's got the Borg stuff in him. He's got the Borg nanites in him. He can't kill the queen. Oh, this was such a good episode. Gosh, I'm like so pumped. I'm pumped. Okay, so then she's like, just give in. She's just to give in, because resistance is futile. And the little thingies come in and they all matrix him, and his eyes go black. Hold on, let's play this real quick. Yeah, there his eyes go black, and he's now Borg. You are Borg. And so they're looking at his DNA, and so what they look is, this is code, because they took Picard's body from the Daystrom station, and they inserted the code into the transporter code. So what they did was, long story short, so they worked with the changelings, because the changelings can't be assimilated, if you remember. Or at least I think that, I don't remember 100%, but I'm like 99.9% sure that the changelings can't be assimilated. So what they did was, they put DNA, it says right here, they put Picard's DNA in the transporter code, and then anybody that went through the transporter would be injected with the Picard DNA, a little bit of the Picard DNA, aka they were assimilated without knowing that they were assimilated. The thing is, when it comes to human beings, us humans, our frontal cortex apparently is fully developed at the age 25. So anybody 25 and under would be assimilated and would be taken over, but anybody older would not, aka our original crew. And so that's what they're talking about here. Sorry, I went through all of that. And so space dock, everything is going on, and they transport there, and they're, as soon as they do, the system starts to take over their ship, because they're a part of the collective. And so the fleet formation, it says there. So he's like, open up a thing, interrupt her speech. We need to talk. And he's like, Elizabeth. He's like, or Admiral Shelby. I can't remember if he calls her Elizabeth or Admiral Shelby, but we'll say Admiral Shelby. He's like, to the fleet. He's like, the changelings have been working with it's our greatest enemy, the Borg. She's like, John Luke, what's going on here? And then it gets shut off, right? So they're all like, so they got the thing out, and then he's all like, I like this actor, but he's all like, there is a thing going on, a spark of something. I can't remember what he says. Please don't be mad at me. And the Borg ship turns on, and it sends out the signal, and you get all these little Borgy things on their computer screen. And 7 of 9 is all like, because she's, still Borgian. I wish Picard would have done, well, oh no, because this isn't his original body, so he doesn't have Borg in him. And so this is where they talk about the frontal cortex. And so this guy is getting taken over, because they keep telling him to do stuff, but look, his veins. Man. And so, and then LaForge is all like, my daughters, and she's getting taken over. Both his daughters are getting taken over. And she's like, and she's like, we are Borg. And I'm all like, you are Borg. But I wish they did have the little mechanical stuff. I always liked that about the Borg, because it was menacing and it was like scary, the Borg. I always thought the Borg were scary. Even if it was just like pipe cleaners and stuff like taped to them or whatnot. I always thought the Borg, I know that's not what it was, but I always thought the Borg were scary. I always thought they were. I was like, the Borg are freaking like narts. If I saw a Borg cube, I'd be all like, I don't want to die, kind of thing. So he's trying to get a hold of his daughters, but he's like, where's my, so-and-so LaForge? I don't remember his daughter's name. And they're like, she is no longer compatible to human formation or whatever. And his other daughter's been taken over too, because they're both under 25. So then the Borg get up, and she's like, Jean-Luc, what is going on here? And she's like, we're being attacked from within. And then she gets shot. Yeah, and connection lost. And I was like, oh crap. I was like, we're losing originals, like nobody's business. All these people. I was like, it's fine because, like, I mean, when were we gonna see Elizabeth Shelby again besides here? But at the same time, I'm all like, oh no, you're just killing off the oldies but goodies. You know what I'm saying? So then they're all like, oh, we gotta get out of here. And so they end up like they fight their way out and everything, and then they get out. And they're like, destroy those who are not assimilated. And so you hear all these screams from the stuff from all the other ships and everything. Like people are screaming and stuff. They've been playing the same thing. So this woman sits down. I don't remember her name, but she's all like, I really wish it was the bald lady from before that got murdered like 2 episodes ago or last episode maybe. Listen, nothing against this woman, but I like that actress a lot. She's from Doom Patrol and stuff. I really liked her a lot, and she's got a great look. I hope she gets more work, and I hope everybody here gets more work, even the ensigns and stuff. Okay, so anyway, she goes, we have the Titan. And so then they're in the lift, and they talk about how the shuttles are not connected. So they're trying to get to the shuttle. This one, the Borg are firing on them, and this guy turns around and he's coming at them, but they close it, and they're like, they're still like, crap, we gotta get out of here, kind of thing. So then, and one ship is able to get their bridge, and the fleet takes it over and moves it to the middle of the thing, and fires on it. Like they fire on it. And that's what when he said it, so fire, like watch, and then they take it, and then I'm blocking it. And they destroy it. They destroy the ship. Sorry, I don't think that they show. Did they show it yet? Oh, there we go. So then there's the ship, the Excelsior, and they fire on it and destroy it. The guy doesn't even get his last mention. He's like, tell my family. And I'm like, I would make something up. I'd find out who his family was and make something up. So then this is where they decide they got to get to a shuttle because the shuttles aren't connected to the system. And so the fleet forms up, and they're getting in full formation, but they're not in full formation yet. So they get off the thing, and these guys are ready, and I love this. I love the doctor here. She looks great in her like stance, like just her like Charlie's Angel style. Like she's like, don't come at me, dude. I'm like not in the mood. I will mess you up, punk. Anyways, okay, sorry. Gosh, I love everything. Okay, so Crusher's looking great there. So then he's like, and then LaForge is all like, I'm blocking him, but he's all like, I got a place we can go. Let's get out of here. And I love, and they get attacked and everything, and they're holding him off, and he's so I love how, okay, so here he's all like, I can't remember what LaForge, what Data says, but LaForge goes, can you be a little positive? And Data goes, I hope we die quickly. I was like, I was like, Terry Metalis gets it. I was like, that's the Data we know and love. Oh my goodness, I just love it. I was like, oh man, it was so good. I like laughed out loud. So good. And so, long story short, they all get into the shuttle except for Shaw gets shot. Hold on, did I get it? No. Okay, so he gets shot, and she's like, Captain. He's like, I'm not the captain. He's like, no, I'm not the captain. This is my ship anymore. It's yours. Captain 7 of 9. And he dies. And I just want to say right now, I am not a fan of killing off Captain Shaw. I liked this character a lot. I don't think we got enough time to spend with him. Everybody's talking about how we should get a spinoff with him as the captain. I agree with that, but we obviously are not going to get that because he is no longer with us. Maybe we can get, they can bring him back to life and be like, he really didn't die and everything, but he did. Like, we saw his dead body, but maybe they could be all like, I don't know. So the shuttle gets off the Titan, and they zap forward. And so then they go, the fleet is fully formed, and they're like, target space dock, destroy all planetary defenses. I was like, no, don't destroy space dock. I love space dock, but they didn't show the destruction of space dock. So I'm all like, they didn't show it. It didn't happen yet. And so these guys go back to the ship museum, which I knew that's where they were going to go. I don't know if you thought that or if you're finding it out now or whatnot, but that's where he's like, where are you taking us? And he's like, I know where to go and everything. And I'm just like, if you remember from before, they were all like, he didn't want these ships in the fleet thing. So I'm all like, of course, that makes sense. They would go there. Plus, these ships aren't connected. I think they said that last time. He's like, I've been working on something I wanted to show you guys. And when they opened up these doors and then these lights went on and you saw the D, I was like, I knew this was what it was going to be, but it's Enterprise D. And I was like, I was like, this is okay. So Enterprise D, I know some people don't like it. They think the dome the thing is too wide and everything, but this is my favorite ship. Deep Space Nine is my favorite Star Trek show, but this is my favorite Enterprise in terms of enterprises. And and so when this one showed up, and I really liked it, and he's like, how? And he's like, well, we couldn't leave we couldn't leave the dome because it would interfere with their main objective, and you don't interfere with other with people that aren't advanced yet. And he said, so we had to remove the dome. And he's like, I've been working on it piece by piece. And he's like, the nacelles are from another ship and all this stuff. And I'm all like, oh my gosh. I was like, I love this. I'm so happy right now. And he goes, Riker goes, it's beautiful. And then Crusher goes, she's like, beautiful. And I literally, hold on, let me back it up. When they turned this on, I was like, I literally said out loud, that is beautiful. And I was like, I was like, see, Terry Metalis, you're reading my mind, but like from months ago, you know what I'm saying? And they're all like, good job, LaForge. You did a good job, Geordi. And I love, okay, so right here they go, well, he goes, well, we couldn't use Enterprise E. And they look at Worf, he goes, that is not my fault. And I was like, man, this is good. This is good. Good writing, you guys. Oh, I love it. Okay. So they get on and they turn on the lights. And I was like, oh my gosh, talk about a blast from, I was like, look at that. Would you look at that? It's just, I'm like nostalgia. I'm being bathed in nostalgia. I'm just like, oh, I was like, the endorphins that are flowing. I love it. So then, and he rubs his hands on the console. He puts his hand on the console. I was like, yes, do it. I was like, yes, daddy, yes. And so he's like, hello, chair. And I was like, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm so happy right now. You don't even know how happy I am. And so I can't remember what he says here. Sorry, guys, I can't remember. And so then I can't remember what they say here. But he gets in there and they get out and would you look at that? Oh, so good. And so he's like, so then he gets in, he's like, engage. And it flies off. And then that's the end of the episode. And you guys, I'm telling you right now, like, I cannot express right now how happy this episode, this show overall has made me so far. I just, like I said before, Terry Metalis gets it. He understands. I don't think he's doing all this stuff for Memberberry's sake. I mean, sure, Elizabeth Shelby being in there was maybe like Memberberry, but I would say it would make sense if they put her in there because she, was a part of Starfleet and she didn't die. So why wouldn't she go up in the ranks and show up later on? That makes perfect sense. If they had Janeway in here, it would make perfect sense. The fact that they, like, what was it, like 2 episodes ago, they had Tuvok. Of course, Tuvok would be in Starfleet still. I mean, it makes perfect sense. So I think that they're not doing Memberberries for Memberberry's sake. They're doing it because it just makes sense, and oh, you guys, I'm just so happy right now. I cannot. I am like waiting with bated breath for the season finale, the series finale. I just can't wait. I wish they would have started with this. I really, really wish they would have. Like, not even started with Discovery. Started with this. Started with Star Trek Picard season 3, because this is what Star Trek fans have been waiting for with new Trek. And it just really goes to show that you can't that Bad Robot sucks because they don't know what they're doing over there. And they just, if I was Paramount, I wouldn't give Bad Robot another job. I'd be like, you guys, you can't have Star Trek anymore. We're done with your nonsense. We've had enough, and just find somebody else. Find anybody else to do it, because it's very obvious that these people at Bad Robot, they don't know what to do with any property. I mean, come on. I mean, Star Wars sucked. Star Trek sucks. Yeah. But oh my gosh, you guys, tell me what do you think's going to happen now? They have to defeat them, right? They have to defeat the Borg. The Borg can't win. That's ridiculous. Yeah, you guys, I'm just so in love with this episode. But all right, I'm gonna stop my jabber jib jib, and I'm gonna end this sucker. But tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? How can you not like this episode? You loved this episode. If you didn't love this episode, you're insane. Okay. But tell me what you guys thought. Tell me everything. I want to know everything. Leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on that season finale. It's going to be great. You guys have a good week. Live long and prosper. Bye.